U.S. auto industry by withdrawing from the last administration's job-killing catastrophe known as the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It would have been a catastrophe. Not only for autos, by the way, for everything else, too. To protect our workers, I imposed stiff tariffs on foreign aluminum and foreign steel. That kept you guys very busy. They were dumping all over the place. Is that right? They were dumping. And it was bad steel, too. It was dirt steel. This week, my administration reached a breakthrough agreement to stop additional steel imports from Brazil and from Mexico for the rest of the year, despite the USMCA. Sometimes they get a little carried away and we have to do a little tariff action on them. So we stopped that. We're reversing decades of the Biden betrayals that decimated Pennsylvania jobs. You know that. This state lost, listen to this, 1 in 3 manufacturing jobs after the twin disasters of NAFTA and China's entrance into the World Trade Organization. One of the worst things that happened when China came in. You know, they were flatlined for many years. Then they came into this crazy deal. They're considered a developing nation. You see, I've been sort of protesting that, but they're considering China. As a developing nation, you get all sorts of things that you would never get, advantages over the United States. Well, we have very strongly protested that. They're not a developing nation. They're a very powerful developed nation. And you know what? They got to pay what everyone else has to pay. Earlier this year, I kept my promise to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania when we ended the NAFTA nightmare and signed the brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement into law, which is in effect now and really doing well. Everyone said it'll never happen. And I had great help from these gentlemen right here. I took the toughest ever action to stand up to China's pillaging, plundering, and rampant theft of Pennsylvania and many other places' jobs. That's all throughout the world, by the way. But our states have been just pillaged by China and others. Joe Biden's agenda is made in China. My agenda is made in America. Rebuilding other countries, we are finally rebuilding our country. It's called America First. We're America First. It's enough. And we're bringing our soldiers back home. You see what's going on. After 19 years in Afghanistan, faraway place, World War II. Thanks to the life-saving therapies that we pioneered, the mortality rate has been reduced by 85% since April. Think of that. And we've achieved among the lowest case fatality rates of any major country anywhere in the world. You never hear that from the fake news. They don't want to talk to you about it. And this is a big country. This is a tougher country to do that with. The European Union's case fatality rate is nearly 3 times higher than ours. And if you look now, Spain is having a big blow-up. France is having a big blow-up. No, we've done a great job. We haven't been given credit for it. And he always starts off, COVID-19, that's all he knows, COVID-19. I said, what about the economy? What about jobs? What about all the other things we have to do? All he does, he thinks it's a weak spot. And actually, in theory, if we're getting a fair shake from those people back there, it's actually what the job we've done is actually a strong spot. And that includes you people. With the ventilators that nobody had. Nobody that needed a ventilator didn't get a ventilator. Now we're supplying them all over the world. Altogether, the nations of Europe have experienced a 30% greater increase in excess mortality than the United States. Think of that. You don't hear these numbers. Cases in the U.S. have declined by 28% nationwide over the last month, and hospitalizations and deaths have declined radically over the last week. 3 vaccines are in final stage of clinical trials. Would have taken 2 years for another president. I was going to say a normal president, but they'll hit me with a little truth to that, too. No, but for another president, especially, you know, in the last administration, they had the H1N1 pandemic. It was called swine flu. You know, Joe always calls it the N1H1. He gets it mixed up. No, it's the H1N1, Joe. Not that it matters, I guess. No, do you ever notice he's always calling it the other? He calls it the opposite. He has no clue where he is. But he keeps saying, oh, if he was... Well, he didn't want to ban China, and we saved hundreds of thousands of lives by banning China. I was the only one that wanted to do it, actually. And then we banned Europe, because I saw what was happening in Italy and Spain and France. And we banned Europe. We saved hundreds of thousands. And if I didn't do the closing and the opening, so we're at 175,000, far too. Look, one is too much, because this was given to us by China, and it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. They could have stopped it. They stopped it from going into China, but not going to the rest of the world, including our country. It's a disgrace. But think of it. Joe Biden got the worst marks you've ever seen for his handling of the H1N1 swine flu. They said it was incompetent. And the head guy, who now he's trying to retract. It's a little tough. That's one great thing about the tape. He said it was horrible. He said we did a horrible job. He said they got lucky. It's not contagious like this. This is a tough one. I can look at that guy, he'll catch it right there, and he's very far away from me. It's a tough one because it's so contagious. But the swine flu is a different thing. But also, nothing's easy about that, pandemics or epidemics. And his marks. Take a look at the job they did. It was so bad that their top person criticized it, and they went after him. They said, don't ever say that again. But it's a little late. He said it was one of the worst jobs. And we actually had a Gallup poll where we got very high marks for the job we did. And they had a poll where it was so low, it wasn't recordable. And then he's coming along and telling us how to solve this very difficult problem. We've done a great job, and I don't want the credit, but I want the people, Mike Pence, I tell you what, our Vice President, Mike Pence, and the task force headed up by Mike, and working along with a lot of great people, they've done a fantastic job, and they just get no credit. If I was a Democrat, a different president, and they did the same job, they'd say it was one of the greatest jobs they've ever seen. But take a look at what they say about the way they handled the swine flu. It was a disaster. It was incompetent. They called themselves incompetent. They called themselves, and now they're coming like, well, we would have done this. And Biden, by the way, was totally against, remember? Xenophobic, racist, because I closed down China. And then 2 months later, 2.5, 3, and Nancy Pelosi was having dances in Chinatown, right? A month later. No problem. I was way ahead. And then Biden comes out, and he actually said that I was right. But they said, don't say that. Try doing it a little softer than that. So he did it a little bit softer. But we were right. They were wrong. They handled it so badly. Just take a look. Because I said to my people, we've got to fight this a little bit differently, because we're getting a lot of fake news, a lot of bad people saying things, and you look at the stats and you look at how we've done compared to really much easier and much smaller countries, it's amazing. And if you took New York out of it, which was a disaster by Cuomo, if you took New York out of those numbers, we would have numbers that would be even better than they are. I could read numbers that would be even much better, because a big percentage of the people that died in this country died because New York was incompetently run by Mayor de Blasio and Governor Cuomo. And by the way, just today, there's another incredible thing happening. Pfizer, great company, announced that it expects to have the results of its vaccine trials in a matter of weeks, very shortly. Incredible. Under Operation Warp Speed, we remain on track to produce a safe and effective vaccine in that record time that we talked about. This would have been years later. It will be delivered before, in my opinion, before the end of the year, but it really might even be delivered before the end of October. How do you like that? Wouldn't that be nice? That would be nice. And you know why? Not because of the election. It'd be nice because we want to save people. That's why it'd be nice. That's the important thing. Together, we will defeat the virus. The job we're doing is the job that all of the people working on it, our generals, our admirals, the distribution. We bought billions and billions of dollars of things, and now we make gowns, and we make masks, and we we make shields, and we make ventilators very tough. The ventilators very complicated, very big, very expensive. It's like, I made the statement, it's like building a car, but more sophisticated. They said, no, it's not. And they said, they took a ventilator, they took it apart. These people are the worst, the worst. Over the next 4 years, we'll make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China once and for all. That's what we're doing. And let me just tell you something. If they didn't waste a year and a half of my life on a ridiculous impeachment based on a phone call that was perfect, this stuff would have all been done. It would have all been done. It would have all been done. And yet, with all of this stuff, the fake Russia witch hunt, the fake Ukraine, how about that? Did anybody read the transcript of that call? It was a perfect call. Hey, congratulations, good luck. It was like a perfect call. Now they'll take it back. They'll say, well, I don't know. This was a perfect... In history, there's never been anything like this. It was a totally lopsided, 100% political witch hunt. And it goes on and on. These are bad people. I really believe they don't love our country. I watched Nancy Pelosi. You must wear your mask. You have to wear your mask. And we're going to keep every beauty salon closed in California and all over the country. And then I see a picture. I say, Nancy Pelosi, well, where's her mask? And I'll tell you what. She must have treated that beauty salon owner pretty badly. She uses the salon, and the salon turned her in. The salon turned her in. I don't think I would have turned her in. I would have said, well, you know, she's a customer. I got to take care of my customers, right? But she made them open, and the salon turned her in, and the salon did business with her. How much do they hate Nancy Pelosi? And then she made a terrible mistake because you want people that can't be set up. She said, I was set up. I was set up by the salon owner. I was set up. I said, tell me she didn't say that, please. So I just put out that if she was set up, then she shouldn't be leading the House of Representatives. I want the salon owner to lead the House of Representatives because she set up, think of it, she set up the Speaker of the House. That was a big mistake. As soon as I heard, she said, well, she set me up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. You're representing our country. You know what she should have done, honestly? She should have said, I made a mistake. Sorry. And nobody would be talking about it. This is like the biggest story. This is the big crazy Nancy. Highly overrated person. Let me just say, she's a highly overrated person. They give her such good play. She is a highly overrated person. Look, they just turned off a camera because they don't want me saying that. So just in closing, we will rapidly return to full employment, soaring wages, and record prosperity. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, surge federal prosecutors into high-crime communities and ban sanctuary cities. We will appoint prosecutors, judges, and justices who believe in enforcing the law, not their own political agenda. We will uphold religious liberty, free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms. We will strike down terrorists who threaten our citizens. We will not let them threaten our citizens. And we will keep America out of endless foreign wars. We will end surprise medical billing. We don't want surprise medical billing. You know what happens. It's terrible. But we have ended it. And also, we've signed something that's incredible. You're going to see. Some people say it's bigger than health care, and I signed it. Unfortunately, it takes place on January 1st. You better elect me. price transparency. I said to my people the other day, when is price transparency? This is going to lower your prices by 50%. You'll be able to negotiate. You'll be able to do things you're not even allowed to do now with hospitals, with doctors. You get better doctors. You get lower prices. I said, when does it start? And it's a complicated, I was fought. You have no idea. Right, fellas? You were fought too. But they fought me on this. Price transparency, it's bigger than healthcare. It could be bigger than healthcare. But I said, when does it start? They said, sir, we have it all set. When? January 1st. I said, I better win this election. Because you're going to see some unbelievable price reductions. And that includes on drugs. Because we're reducing health insurance premiums massively, and the cost of prescription drugs went down the first time in 51 years last year. But now it's going to go down very big because we did a favored nations laws. And I see the drug companies they're killing me with ads. They have nothing but cash, they have nothing but money. And they're spending because they can't believe. You know, Germany and other countries pay much less than we do. And we want to have, what we have to have is we have to have a comparison of prices. And that's what it's called, favored nations laws. I instituted a favor. So if we're paying $2.50 for a pill, we are returning power to you, the American people. With your help and your devotion and your drive, we are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting. And we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. America will soon be thriving like never before. Next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. And together we will work very hard. The people of Pennsylvania, the great, great people of Pennsylvania where I went to college, it's a place I know very well. But we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you. Thank you, Pennsylvania.